boy. Yo, what's up, everybody? Yeah, welcome to the Mike Dolce Show. Today, I wanted to talk about the carnivore versus vegan debate, and I want to add some context and offer some clarity. And I will utilize something called common sense, and I'll even sprinkle in a little bit of science. Whoa, I know, crazy conversation these days. But it's come to my attention, as it has come to your attention, that carnivore has now replaced keto, right, as the newest restrictive fad dietary practice. And that doesn't mean carnivore doesn't work for a little while, right? You drop your carbs, you lose weight. You up your carbs, you lose weight. You drop your calories, you lose weight. You up your fiber, you lose weight. How many different variations of this can we come up with? Lots, like a whole myriad of constant change that can produce short-term results. So, does a carnivore style diet produce a shorter term result, especially with regards to weight loss? Yeah, absolutely it does, but nearly every diet does to some degree. When I talk about the sense and the science, I'll take it a little further now and say that, well, the science supporting the carnivore diet is very nil. It's like none. I mean, there's a few partial segments of studies, a few sound bites that are extracted from more broad studies, and hypotheses are created, but that's really all it is. And then we have lots of anecdotal evidence, which is fine. And the anecdotal might as well be placebo in many ways, but that's fine. We'll take that too. We'll take that on board because the real world evidence matters as much and sometimes more than the scientific research. And I say that because science constantly changes. Science, in and of itself, is the art of constantly changing. If nothing else, science continuously changes and upgrades. So we also have to be very aware of the real world results. That's why I talk about sense. So when we take this from a sensible perspective, we'll say, well, if I go on a vegan diet, I'll lose weight. If I go on a carnivore diet, yep, I'll lose weight. If I go on a vegan diet, I'll perform well at sports. If I go on a carnivore diet, yep, I'll perform well at sports. As compared to what? And I think this is the big bugaboo. This is the red herring in this conversation. So does a carnivore diet work? Excuse me. And I will say a carnivore diet can work for a period of time. And then what? Or a carnivore diet will work, but not as well as compared to fill in the blank. And I will fill in the blank for you. Now, I could say this exactly about a vegan diet. Is a vegan diet healthy? Yes, it's healthy. Will you lose weight on a vegan diet? Yes, you lose weight on a vegan diet. Will you perform well in sports? Yes, you'll perform well in sports. But as compared to what? So now I'll take this further because the same fill in the blank for the carnivore is the same fill in the blank for the vegan. A carnivore diet will work, but not nearly as well as compared to an omnivoric diet. A vegan diet will work, but not nearly as well as when compared to an omnivoric diet. A carnivore diet and a vegan diet are extremely niche, exclusionary, restrictive fad dietary practices. Veganism is much more popular, much more widely accepted, but the vegan diet still equates for a single-digit percentage of the population, especially here in North America and most of the areas that follow this channel. And we have 120 countries that follow this channel and buy our products and all of that. But by and large, the vast majority of humans can always have and will continue to operate most optimally when following an omnivoric meal plan. What is an omnivoric meal plan? An omnivoric meal plan is simply eating animal products and plant-based products. So the sense or the ridiculousness of the current carnivore versus vegan debate, it's all smoke and mirrors. This is fitness theater. What this is, it's not real. So when you see these big carnivore takedowns and these big plant-based takedowns and these debates and the fire and the millions of views and the special guests and all that stuff, it's a non-issue. It's a non-topic because carnivore competing against vegan is like competing for 10th place in a 8-person race. It does not matter with regards to total health outcomes. It doesn't matter with regards to lean mass ratios. It doesn't matter with regards to optimal sports performance. Those two dietary practices, those two ideologies fail miserably, miserably, miserably in comparison to an omnivoric meal plan. So it's like the carnivores and the vegans, they're fighting, they're battling, not for second place, not for third place. They're battling just to beat each other. All right. And I got friends on both sides of the aisle. I got friends in both communities, and that's cool. Live your life. That's awesome. But don't say for a second, do not say for 1 second that the vast majority of humans should follow either construct. The vast majority of humans will be dramatically healthier, perform at much higher levels for much longer periods of time, and avoid many major health conditions simply by following a healthful, wholesome, omnivoric meal plan. And the beauty of this is this has already been proven. This has been proven for eons. This has been proven since the dawn of time because that's what our ancestors for thousands and more years, as many years as you believe humans were here, we've been eating both. We've been eating both. So what's the issue again, everybody? With the exclusionary, restrictive, fad dietary practices. Now, the vegans are always there as a pushback to the fringe. So the vegans will always keep the fringe pulled a little bit back towards center. Not that the vegans are center, but the vegans are so far into their side, and I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at anybody, but they're so far because the vegan community, true vegans, not plant-based. Plant-based is not vegan. And for those who understand, and let me actually drill a little further for those listening, those who really want to learn something. Nearly every other whoa, a little Freudian slip there. Nearly every other version of a plant-based lifestyle that's touted and marketed as plant-based is omnivoric. Well, what does that mean? That means vegetarians, they eat animal products. Pescatarians, they eat animal products. Lacto-avotarians, they eat animal products. Nearly every specific sect of the plant-based lifestyle is mostly plant-based, the majority plant-based, but not exclusively plant-based. So the vegans are actually very omnivoric, or not the vegans, excuse me. It's a little bit of word soup here. It's a little challenging. Any sect outside of the vegans most likely are omnivoric. So why are we not talking about the tenets of an omnivoric diet? Well, it's harder to package that. It's harder to sell that, right, everybody? I mean, I understand. It kind of interferes with your ClickFunnels and all those other things. But if we're truly educating the population and we truly want to point to best practices and we're truly leaning on the valid, peer-reviewed, agreed-upon science, but also we're following the whole plight of the human species, we see the dramatic benefits of an omnivoric meal plan. Now, I'll touch on the sports briefly because I'm very deeply embedded in sports. And just as a means to humble brag, but also to give you credentials, Sports Illustrated had said, and I will quote, Mike Dolce is one of the most sought after coaches in all of professional sports. So, that being said, you must infer I have a deep understanding of how professional athletes prepare, how they live, how they train, how they eat, how they supplement, how they rest, how they recuperate, how they maintain world class performances. You could say that. I, unlike many others in the conversation at the table, well, I truly do have world class experience working with world class athletes, winning world titles. And the vast majority of every athlete I've ever encountered in every single sport, whether directly working with them, working with their coaches, understanding the coaching system, being a part of the promotion or the training centers and the protocols and the teammates and the partners and everything all the way through. It's not even a contest of omnivoric eaters versus vegan and carnivores. Like, they're not even there. They're not even in the locker room. Especially when we pull up and we take a 30,000 square foot view of the landscape. We realize the highest performing athletes that perform consistently higher than any other athlete are omnivores. But not just individually, across all populations in all countries, along all timelines. Now, we could point to a little fringe group here and a fringe group there, but I will guarantee you none by choice were strictly vegans nor strictly carnivores, because their performance would dip and they would most likely feel a drop in health. Now, I know a lot of vegans who have converted back to a more omnivoric lifestyle. I know lots of carnivores who have transitioned back to a more omnivoric lifestyle. And this is what I said in the beginning. Does it work? Sure, it works. For how long? And then what? And myself as an educator, at this stage of my career, I'm an educator. I am here to teach you how to make the best decisions for the rest of your life, how to unclutter your mind from all the pop culture marketing fads that constantly get thrown at you. Just think, over the last 1, 2, 3 years, how many different best ever diet program were you being sold? Mostly by the same people. And isn't that something? I got to think about this for a second, because if somebody touts themselves to be an expert today, and they are an expert because they're telling you the secret to their health and fitness, and truly the secret to yours, is this new restrictive, exclusionary fad dietary program that just so happened to pop up in their sales funnel right about the time it started trending on Google keyword searches. But then we look back 6, 12, 18 months and we say, son of a gun, you were actually selling something completely different, living a completely different life. You looked damn near identical to the way you do right now, and you were telling me something else. You were selling me something else. But then you drill back 6, 12, 18, 36 months before that, and you say, son of a gun, there it is again. I've found 3 completely conflicting best ever nutrition programs being sold, being promoted, being marketed by the same individual, by the same entity. And each time it was sold to me as the best ever. So what is it? Do you just not know what you're talking about? That every 6 months or so, you point to something, it's red. No, it's green. Wait. No, it's blue. Or are you an experienced enough professional to simply educate on best practices of what truly works? And that's evergreen. So what I discuss is evergreen. Prove me wrong. Open call out to anybody. Prove me wrong. Prove me that what I'm saying is wrong. Prove where any of my results at the elite world-class level for over 20 plus years, completely in the public sphere, is wrong. We've proven it. We've proven it hundreds, thousands, and through our extended community, millions of times. So what's the conversation about again? Oh, I understand what it's about. This is theater. This is fitness theater, guys and gals. So everybody's sitting at home wondering, what's right? What should I do? Should I buy that? Just know that it's theater. It's like reality TV. It's a marketing scheme. And what I try and do, because I work in fitness, this is where I make my living. This is how I convert and I transact and I monetize. And yes, I do. But I do that by simply educating. And if you like it, you buy it. And if you don't like it, please don't buy it. And just like this conversation, and I'm about to go into a live, robust Q&A, I answer all your questions for free. I know of no other professional at my position with my resume that provides so much free content that directly engages with the audience through our Facebook groups, through our social media feeds, through this YouTube channel. We have thousands of articles, workout routines, recipes at our website, thedolcediet.com. You can check that out for free. The Mike Dolce Show podcast on audio, completely for free. And it's just education. I'm not selling you anything. Sure, you can pick up one of our products or services if you want to, if you need to. But I'll tell you everything you need to know right now. And that's what I'm doing here. So vegans, carnivores, keto, fasting, add your keyword here, right? Add your keyword here. Just go check out Google rankings, everybody. Watch how the dietary programs spike. Watch how the book sales spike when certain keywords are trending. And pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. Pay attention to the people selling you carnivore right now, or keto yesterday, or fasting before that, or paleo before that, or Atkins before that, or zone before that, or whatever exclusionary, restrictive dietary protocol that's being pushed into the scene. And I don't say that to be a D-bag and hurt them. I say that because we as consumers, we need to know. The biggest criticism I get is Dolce just says the same stuff over and over and over again, man. He just keeps talking about you got to eat whole foods and wide variety, fresh, local, organic as possible. High nutrient density for lower total caloric floor. You have to exercise your body 30 to 60 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week, doing something that you really love, that you enjoy, that you want to do. Getting deep, restful sleep, 7.5 to 9 hours per night. Whether you're trying to win a UFC world title or you're simply taking your kid to school the next day, you got to get the same 7.5 to 9 hours per night, eliminating all external stress from your life. Smile, wave to your neighbor, hold doors for people, ask them how their day's going. That's about it. That's my lane. I stay inside that lane. And then the last little percent, when you really want to hit that A-type phase, that's the last 10%. That's when we can really peak you out. That's when you change the carb fat macro, you hit some carb cycling or calorie cycling, or you spike your protein, you add in some cross flow microfiltered whey isolate, maybe you dump in a little bit of extra caffeine or yohimbine HCl, you get a little bit crazy, maybe you get a little bit crazy, and you squeeze out that last little performance, because we should all be walking around about 90% of target, whatever that target should be. So I'm 20 minutes deep into this. Thank you guys for staying here. I appreciate it. I'm going to answer some questions for you right now, and then it's time to go. But what do you think about this? And also, for those who are a part of the channel, what do you think about the channel direction? We've been having fun, by the way. And I think you guys can tell my 14-year-old sense of humor We've been having fun, but trying to bring you faster bites, more compelling content. A lot of you guys love these long form videos. You love the Q&As. You love when I'm on the microphone talking to you for an hour, hour and a half a day. Love that. We're going to keep that. Some of you guys, you like the shorter 3 to 7 minutes, like the direct to camera, the hot takes, short, sweet, single topics, get in, get out, love it, gone, because you're busy, you're at work, you got a little break here or there, you're in between, you're transitioning, and you just need a little bit of something, right? You're consuming some sort of content. And I hope my content is positive and engaging and motivating and mildly entertaining at the very least. Or kind of our car talks, which are what, 7, 10, 15 minutes or so. So we're trying to change up the content. Please let me know below what you guys think. And that's for the regulars of the channel. If you're not a regular, subscribe, click that little bell for notifications. Let me answer some questions. Max says, ay, Dolce. Hey, Max, what's up? Ben, well, what's up, Ben? Billy Czar, good morning, Dolce. F you. Well, F you right back, Billy Czar. Lias, evening, Dolce from England. Whereabouts in England, Lias? Scott says, what's up, everybody? What's up, Scott? David, omnivore is the best. If you look at traditional cultures, especially blue zones, much of these cultures only use vegan or carnivores as a fast, not a lifestyle. Exactly. Lazar, yo, what's up? What's up, Lazar? Scott, Omni is how humans survived long enough to have stupid exclusionary diets. That is awesome. I love that one right there. Ironhead, what's up from Laredo, Texas? Texas in the house. What's up? Marilyn, hey, Uncle Mike, you guys get my new email about our certs? I did not, Marilyn. I will have the team look into it. We will get back in touch with you ASAP. Thank you. Zach C. F you, Zach C. Dr. Seuss, Uncle Mike, any negatives to adding a J to morning list? Thank you and F you. I'll go back and forth on that just a little bit. When if you're smoking a joint, you are inhaling toxic chemicals. I'm not an expert at exactly what you're inhaling, but there's hundreds, if not thousands, of very specific chemicals that you're inhaling. And it does cause some sort of respiratory distress. And it's very easy to understand. Do you think you're breathing better or worse? If I had to pick, well, likely worse. Now, the actual inhalation of THC or the ingestion of THC, I don't have problems with that as long as it's legal and as long as it's medically supervised, because everything we discuss here must be discussed also with your doctor. So that being said, I don't really have a problem with it, but I wouldn't suggest smoking. But I'm not exactly against it either, if you know what I'm saying. So I got like the scientific kind of, borderline answer, and then the practical reality-based answer. But I mean, smoking a joint and going for a walk on a beautiful sunny day or a beautiful cold day, I mean, that makes for a fun walk. Frank Wells, a lot of folks from either side love to point out an outlier who performs well, but ignore the fact that 98% of the high performers are the ones eating both plants and animals. Frank, thank you. Exactly. And that's why it's so silly to hear these vegans and carnivores all fighting like you're fighting for 10th place. You're not fighting for first or second or even third. You're literally fighting for like 10th to 20th place. Okay, I think they just need hugs. I think they just need hugs because they, like, if you're going to live a vegan lifestyle, awesome. If you're going to live a carnivore lifestyle, awesome, I guess. I mean, I don't want to say awesome because it's not the healthiest. And I think long-term outcomes, there will be reduced. And I would say the long-term health outcomes are skewed better historically, scientifically, on the plant-based side. The majority plant-based side has a better skew than the majority of bulk matter of animal products. And I'm happy to debate that with anyone because I have reams and reams and reams of valid science to also support this, regardless of the few excerpts from the few studies that might have a different hypothesis. Angel, what's up, Angel? Good to see you. JL, hey, Mike, just got your Living Lean Volume 1 recipe book. You mentioned using white cheese in your recipes. Is there a reason you specifically use white cheese and stay away from the orange or colored cheese? Less processing. Just the least processed. I try and lean on a fresh, like a truly fresh mozzarella. Maybe like a feta or a blue cheese. I mean, those are kind of the go-tos, and even then it's like an ounce or two. It's just to like really touch off a recipe. It's not like we're eating blocks of cheese or putting them on our cheeseburgers from Wendy's. Sisal says, thoughts on nucleus overload training and similar training. I don't know it under that name, Sisal. Can you give me a different name for it or a link to it? I'll take a look. Site list. Dolce, what are your thoughts on including beans and legumes as a source of protein and carbs for one of your meals? I do every day. Every day. I eat beans and legumes every day. I don't know a day that I don't. I don't know why I wouldn't. I don't know why I wouldn't. Um, Thoughts on eating lentils, JL? I love them. I eat them all the time. Not every day. That's, once or twice a week, maybe. Adam, is an hour of list daily and cutting calories enough for a person who's restricted from strenuous exercise? Yeah, I would say always under a doctor's care, right? Only under a doctor's supervision. But yeah, that could work. Are sit-ups pointless? Not at all. Sit-ups are a very effective core strengthening exercise. Think about it. If you're laying on your back and you have to get up, what do you have to do? You have to curl your trunk in some direction. So different variations of sit-ups are excellent. And there's the basic, right? Laying on your back like you used to do in gym class. That is a basic movement. That's fine. That's awesome. That's great. But how about doing that with one leg straight up in the air, or one leg hovered over the floor, or both legs, or maybe you're sitting cross-legged, or maybe you're holding a 5-pound dumbbell in one hand and a 3-pound dumbbell in the other hand. Maybe you're going on a 45-degree across your body. Maybe you're sitting up and then falling to your right side, then sitting up and falling to your left side. I mean, there's lots of ways to, quote, sit up. Harry, what factors do you think led to Randy Couture's heart attack? I don't know. Lifestyle could have, and genetics. I mean, that's kind of the predicators of any sort of illness, lifestyle and genetics. Your lifestyle, to some degree, can turn on and either expedite or slow down your genetic potential. And that happens. So I don't know what Randy's issue was. I don't know anything about it. I mean, there could be some sort of freak injury. Maybe he got someone threw a medicine ball and it hit him in the chest, right? Hit him in the torso, and it ripped a little piece or a little line, or there was some sort of scar tissue buildup because he got kicked in the chest so bad one time. Oh, that's possible. I'm just, grabbing here, but that's possible too. I've seen stories such as that. I don't know, but it is scary. It means that everybody needs to really pay attention. Go to your doctors, get a wellness test done, get a calcium score done, a calcium heart score done. Go and get an EKG done. Why not? Why not? If you got the healthcare, go. And if you don't have the healthcare, save up a few $100s for these preventative elective tests. Harry, what do you think about Dr. Michael Greger's vegan diet he promotes? Which points do you disagree with him? I'll actually I don't know Dr. Greger's the specifics of his work. I know that he's one of the proponents. I could say that I could probably out deadlift Dr. Greger. Not that deadlifting means I'm healthier, but I could probably outrun, out jump, out climb, out deadlift, out hike him. And my blood work is perfect. My blood work, I don't know how old he is. I don't know if he's my age or not. I'm 43 years old. He might be 43, 33, or 53. I don't know. I'm thinking he's a little older than I am. I hope so. I got perfect blood work. So I don't know. Why can't I? And I'd say, well, why can't I have wild-caught salmon? Why can't I have egg whites? Why can't I have egg whites? Why can't I have a cross-flow microfiltered whey protein isolate during A-type training phases? Why can't I? Which is proven to be the most efficient, the most beneficial of all protein supplements, plant-based or animal-based, doesn't matter. A cross-flow microfiltered whey isolate is by far the industry standard. Why wouldn't I? So and that would be the counter. Please, explain to me. I would love to hear it. Educate me. I'm open, because whatever works, that's what I sell. I sell what works. I just sell what works, which is why I've been doing this for 20 years, selling the same thing. I see this stuff come and go. It comes and goes and comes and goes. And I'm cool with the vegans. We're like, all right. They're like, yeah, man, well, I don't really agree with what Dolce says about eat meats and all that. But my God, Dolce eats more plants than I do, right? When I go to the supermarket, we got at least 40 different plant-based products, nuts and seeds and fruits and legumes and roots and grains, and just so much. Not stupid asparagus. I got asparagus and I got broccoli because I got green beans like all the bodybuilders do. Not the bag on the body. I'm like pissing everybody off. Maybe I don't want to. I'm trying to educate my audience. I'm not trying to make people mad. I'm not calling anybody out. If I was going to call people out, I mention people's names and specifics, but I'm not that dude. I'm not that dude. I just want to talk about ideas with my audience so they understand, so you guys can make better decisions. Zach C said, oh man, Zach C with the $5 super chat donation. Bang, Zach C, you are the man. Down 7 pounds on day 14 of 3 weeks of shredded, but feel like a bleep doing high rep workouts. Will tan and full body shave before final picks. Love plants, but F vegan. Zach, here's what's going to happen. As soon as you hit day 21, and Zach, you're already lean going into this, so you being down an additional 7 pounds in 2 weeks is awesome. You'll probably be down like 12 to 15 when you're done. Once you peak out at day 21, I would suggest you go back to day 1, 2, and 3, but double all carbohydrate content. The same exact meals from day 1, 2, and 3, double all carb intake, and take photos on day 3. You are going to look, it's going to be the craziest you've ever looked. Once we put some glycogen back into those muscles, once we fill you back out, Zach C, it's going to be insane. Insane, my man. Definitely. You've gone this far. Go through day 21. Day 22 is day 1 of the program again. Everything the same, but double. If you had half a cup of rice, have a full cup of rice. If you had half a cup of oats, have a full cup of oats. If you had 1 cup of berries, have 2 cups of berries. Double those carb sources. Watch how crazy you look come day 3, wake up day 4. It's going to be insane. David says, what you say is common sense. That's what I deal in, my man. Hey, coach, do you have some good conditioning routines for MMA HIIT? Yeah, lots of intervals. For MMA, you want long periods of operation. I usually say double. So if our athletes are fighting for 15 minutes, I want them to have hard 30-minute or so goes. If they're fighting for 25 minutes, then we're really pushing more towards like 45-minute interval sessions, 20 to 45-minute interval sessions. You have to be able to extend yourself, and most athletes don't understand this. Most coaches don't understand this. You have to be able to extend your aerobic base. A lot of athletes, their aerobic base fails simply because they go too hard too often. They think it's all about slamming medicine balls and swinging jackhammers and running sprints, pushing prowlers and sleds. That's a piece of it, but that is more representative of the exact skills training these combat athletes do every day. What do you think wrestling is like? What do you think jujitsu is like? What do you think sparring is like? Very similar stimuli. The aerobic base is often the most neglected athletic attribute of high-level athletes because it's, quote, almost too easy. So with our athletes, it's mandatory 5 days a week of aerobic-based conditioning. And that's usually presented over anywhere between 30 and 60 minutes of lower intensity, but rather high volume, getting that heart rate up and keeping it up. And what happens as time goes, we follow the heart rate and we understand our ability to go farther faster at progressively more optimal heart rates. That's because we become much more efficient at our aerobic capacity. This is, I mean, if you understand what I just said, poof. Very few of you will get that. And those who get that, and I don't say that to be dismissive, I say that because when you're operating at the highest possible level, what we can get done at 142 beats per minute is what most athletes are getting done at 158 beats per minute. The amount of efficiency for us to put more activity into those additional beats, that allows us to win scrambles. That gives us the reaction time to slip out of the way. That's where the knockout power and the finishing power and the second drive on the takedown come from. That's where it comes from, right? So you're welcome. Feel free to drop me a $100 super chat donation for that one, everybody. I'm joking. No, I'm joking. No donation necessary. I'm happy to do this for free for you guys. Zach C, how much water should I drink at 159, 10% body fat? And can I front load water so I don't pee the bed? Yeah, I front load also. I drink about 2 gallons per day. I'm done my first gallon. Man, this is my second gallon right now. And it's almost 2:00, but I've already trained. Yeah, I'm sorry. Front load the day for sure. I front load the day. I finish my first gallon anywhere between like 10 and 12, depends on the time I wake up. So I get my first one done in under 4 hours or so. And then my second gallon, I'll kind of like hit hard, and then I'll just slowly start to I'll probably have about that much, usually by about 5 o'clock at night, and I'll just kind of sip as I'm done. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy that would retire after KOing Ben Askren. That's funny. That's good. Hey, coach, can you give me a good MMA conditioning? I answered that. Kelly, is organic popcorn with a little grass-fed butter a bad snack option? That sounds delicious to me. And we'll actually pop our corn in coconut oil. Lias, yo, Dolce, I'm in Manchester. You're a mank. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Muscle Carpet, yo, Dolce, thoughts on bread? I love making bread and bagels and eating them too. It's the one thing I'm craving while on 3 weeks to shredded. Well, don't eat it on 3 weeks to shredded. That's very important. Do not eat it because 3 weeks to shredded is a 21-day, very specific program. If you can't do it for 21 days, you'll probably never be successful ever in your life simply because you can't see anything through. So 3 weeks to shredded, if nothing else, is a simple test to your discipline and to your internal fortitude. 3 weeks to shredded is a transformative process. And yes, you will also lose a tremendous amount of non-functional body weight. And yes, you will absolutely feel amazing physically going through the process. And then the bread thing, if you bake your own bread, make your own bread. I'm not going to tell you. One of our athletes owns a bakery. She bakes cookies and she's a high-level athlete. I'm going to say, no, don't ever have a bite of that. It's part of her family culture. She lives over in the in the UK. I'm not going to say that, but come on, let's earn it. If you're going to eat it, let's earn it. If you're going to have it, let's earn it. Let's be sensible here. B. Malone, Mike, when are you going to be back on the Joe Rogan Experience? We need an in-depth discussion with you two. I'm available anytime to meet with Mr. Rogan. And I think he has a great command of all sides of the conversation, but I've never actually heard my side discussed in the context that I can go down. And then someone as smart, as insightful as Joe, I think he can really ask those leading, probing questions to get much more of this information out there that everybody needs to hear, because it's a different approach to what is commonly being pushed right now. But the results and the science is unimpeachable. Right? Nobody can point to any of our science and say that there's a flaw, nor any of our results and say that there's a flaw. The methodology is extremely different from what's being pushed right now, but it's easier, and that's the thing. So we'll see. We'll see. Obviously, this is what I do. Hey, Dolce started doing the breakfast bowl of oats and seeds. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Hold on, it just blipped out on me. Oats and seeds, pure energy. I love it. Exactly. Victor, Mike, what do you think about Michaela Peterson's carnivore diet to manage her autoimmune disorder? I'm going to tell you something, and I don't know Michaela very well, but I don't believe it, and I don't believe her. I don't believe her. I just don't believe her. I've watched some of her videos, and then just what is presented as produced content through her channel is not congruent with what she speaks about and posts about when she's just being her. So she's had a hard time kayfabing, if you will. And I've seen a lot of flaws in what she says and the way she lives her life. I don't believe she's a carnivore. I don't believe that at all. I truly believe, and I could be wrong, and I'd love to hear it, but I don't believe this at all. I think it was just something that was popular and it was catchy and it was trendy, and she jumped onto it and she felt a little bit better. But no, she doesn't live that lifestyle. And she's been put in a position now to be an expert for some reason, and I don't understand that reason why. And I won't go any further than that, but I could go further than that and really start to, show more scientific reasons to support what my opinion is. Scott Doc, Mike, what is your opinion of the old coaching, no downtown throwdown before the big fight game? I've actually tested that many times. And what my answer is, it goes two ways. And what the question is, do women weaken legs? Is sexual relations a good thing or a bad thing prior to competition? And I'll answer it in two ways. The first way is that it depends on how hard you have to work for the release. If you're running around chasing girls, going to nightclubs, you got crazy side dudes and creepers and gumas all creeping in your life, you're going to get your ass kicked in competition because you're not focused. You're focused on all this BS. Bad thing. But if you have your special sweetie, your special honey, or you have a line outside your door, pick whoever you want, and it's all consensual and safe and easy, and you don't have to work for it, then there's really no problem. There's no problem to it. That's the honest answer, right? I wouldn't do it the morning of, though I know athletes who have. I know an athlete who did it in the locker room right before his fight with his wife. How about that? At a big show, and that's all I'll say. Because he had nerves. He had nerves. He needs to calm down his nerves, and went out and won. What the heck? Um, and some that won't do an entire training camp, and that's really what you got to lean towards. Dev says, what do you think of J-Rob's protein? I think J-Rob's protein was good, especially for the time that it came out. I think Jay did a good job. Zach Dolce, do you know Randy had a heart attack from too much sugar and too many late nights with the booger? And Randy is the goat, man. Randy needs to write a book, The Life of Randy. Tony, what's up, Tony? Aloha, be Tony. Scott, what's New Year's goal is to look like Zach C, but with the dad bod. That's gonna be a tough one. Zach C is I mean, that's platinum right there, baby. That's untouchable. That is very coveted ground. To rock that is it leopard skin? Leopard skin split. Not many people can rock leopard skin Speedos, sunglasses, spiky hair, and a spray tan as well as Zach C does. That's all I gotta say. Dev says, Dev, thank you for the $4.99 super chat donation. Boom, not necessary, but always appreciated. I mix whey and egg half and half as my pre-training meal. Whey and egg protein prior, along with a banana and or granola bar. Comments or suggestions? I wouldn't mix the egg protein. I would just do the whey. Just do the whey protein isolate. Why? What's the egg for? And then just eat eggs earlier or later in the day. The whey protein isolate is by far the most efficient of all the protein powders. Of all the protein supplements, a whey protein isolate is much more efficiently digested and absorbed. That's it. That's the whole point of it, because the whole purpose of protein is amino acids. So you get a higher amount of these high quality usable amino acids into your blood supply at a much more rapid rate. That's the thing. That's it. So the egg, I would just eat your eggs. I eat 1 to 2 poached eggs per day, usually 4 whites on the side. That's kind of what I'm rocking right now, and I freaking love it. If you want to mix some fruit in there, okay, that's fine. Granola in there, that's going to slow digestion quite a bit. I like to just bang whey protein isolate all by itself intra workout and get those aminos available immediately. That's really what I'm looking for. Carlos, mindset is everything. Truth. Zach, do I need to limit spinach and kale if making scramble or salad? No. Somebody like you, Zach, no, because you know your body. You've been doing this a long time. You're very intuitive. Those who are new to structured eating, I say, yeah, let's do it. And if you're hungry if you're hungry at the same times for 3 days in a row, then you have to bump your calories. Let's bump them up. But I would bump them across the board so we can normalize their eating routine, so we can create a really healthy habit. Somebody like you, Zach, you're a higher level individual, right? You've already set multiple goals, you achieve them, you crush them, and you just keep coming back for more. So you can understand, you can go a little wider. And I'm probably going to go wider with the spinach, but I'm also going to go wider with the peppers, with the onions, with the mushrooms, get lots more robust color in there also. CW, hey Dolce, big thank you for the MMA conditioning information. You are a big coach. I appreciate that. I love you. Thank you. I have 2 kids at home. Me too. I can't give you the $100. The information was gold. Thank you, CW. That's awesome. I appreciate it. No money is necessary. Just share our content. Tell people to come and check out our channel. It's all free, right? I mean, it's all free information, guys and gals. I'm here to help you. I have this information because this is what I do. This is what I do, right? I change people's lives. I change people's bodies. I help athletes perform at the highest levels. I prepare actors and actresses for big blockbuster budget film and television, right? This is what I do. So when I talk, and I know some people are going to chirp around about Dolce doesn't know what he's talking about, but they don't have clients. Right? They don't work at the level that I work, nor have they worked at this level for as long as I have with the level of success that I currently have. And no one can claim the same level of success that I've had in my field. We are the top of the field. We are the benchmark standard. And everyone in this industry understands that. And our field is one of the hardest weight class oriented competition at the world class level. Right? We're not talking peewee sports here. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars in these main events, right? That's what we're talking about here, and that's what we do. So the information, if nothing else, you should at least consider it. That's all I ask. Just consider what I'm saying, if it makes sense and if there's a scientific merit. And if so, well, then you need to start drilling down a little bit deeper to learn more. A-Class, thanks for the content, Coach. What's your favorite Roe Movement, seated cable, single arm dumbbell. I like the Pen Lay Row. I've been doing a lot of those lately. I really enjoy that because it starts from the stop, right? It starts on the floor as a deadlift would, and you need that same explosion. Now, I'll play with the grips a little bit. I like to do what I call a Yates Pen Lay Row, where I'm starting with a double overhand, but a medium grip, and I pull the bar into the hips, right, into the waistline, as opposed to the traditional Pen Lay Row, which is arms kind of wider out to the side, much more upper back. But I hit multiple variations of the Pen Lay Row. I'll leave it at that. Charlie, I've lost 78 pounds while adding 15 pounds of lean mass so far. I'd love to see that. I'd love to see your photos, Charlie. I would absolutely love to see your photos. Odin Aesthetic, Mike, what about vegan exclusively for longevity and avoiding disease, taking performance out of it? Is there something there? There is something there, but as compared to what? As compared to an omnivoric diet, the vegan diet does not perform as well when we look at a list of total life expectancy. What does that mean? That means the humans who have lived the longest historically, since we started tracking this, by vast numbers, by an overwhelming majority, they've all been omnivores, and they've been lifelong omnivores. They've been lifelong omnivores. So, what seems to be the biggest difference is not exactly how much plants or protein they ate. It's that they ate sensibly within relative caloric ceilings throughout the period, the most of the time throughout their life. What does that mean? They weren't in a high caloric surplus for long periods of time. If they needed about 2,000 calories a day to live and get their stuff done, they took in about 2,000 calories a day. They usually have one kind of robust day, big pasta night, but they'd also have one kind of like under eating day where they woke up, drank a coffee, and went and hiked the fields for 6 hours. And that's, I'm using, a little bit of metaphor here just to paint a colorful picture, but that's all true. And if you do the research like I and my team have, you understand it. We do best practices. This is so funny. We're focused on best practices. What works? I don't care. I have no ego associated with this. What works? Because whatever works is exactly what we're doing. And that's exactly what I'm teaching. That's exactly what I'm going to sell. And that's why I talk for the last 20 years the way that I do. And I share this information with you. It's that simple, right? Yeah, Charlie. Yeah, post it, man. DM me or tag me on Instagram. It'd be cool to see. Frank, also your boy is nice and thick right now. Two C's there, Frank. I'm not at your level, but if you wanted to check out that Bulldog Strength Gym on a Sunday, jack some hell yeah, brother. Yeah, we'll get that going soon. It's been crazy, man. It's been crazy. Back to school, a little bit of travel, got some good business going on. But let's get it, man. We got to get that. We got to get lunch too. Little celebratory. Two belts, Frank. That'll be your nickname. How many milligrams of sodium is ideal if you train hard? Well, that really depends. I would say anywhere between 3,000 and 6,000 milligrams of sodium per day, depending upon the individual. So I will say in general, this is generally speaking towards the average healthy male adult, right? Somewhere in that range is a good place to look. Speak with your doctor and see what's right for you. Me personally, I'm right at like the 4 to 6 grams of sodium when I'm in a high level training phase, but I sweat, man. And remember, when you sweat, you're losing sodium. I sweat. The more you sweat, I go to the banyas. I have an infrared sauna in my house. Like I'm in the hot tub all the time. I got 20 minutes. I'm bored. Like, how many push-ups can I do in 20 minutes? I'm that dude, right? I'm that dude. So just know who you are and eat relative to eat based upon your need, right? That's what we talk about. Every 2 to 4 hours based upon activity. That's Dolce Diet principle number 2. David, Okinawa has the most centurions as are omnivores, and Ceylon, the one has the least amount centurions. It's only traditional vegan at the least. And that's yep, David, I agree. And there's many other populations that just aren't as prominent. Right, I think there's 5 quote blue zones, but there's about 22 or so very similar districts that are, some are still not here. They've migrated to different areas, and then they were fed more society based foods, right? So as they had to migrate from their original source through governmental changes or natural resources and war and things like that, then their own internal culture changed, and all of a sudden they went from being the healthiest in the region for hundreds, if not thousands of years, to within 200 years being just traditional. Crazy, 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 crazy. I should do a book on that one day, but that's too much. That's not me. Angel, the champ is here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, guys and gals. Well, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. My YouTube friends, those listening on the audio podcast, thank you guys for tuning in. And make sure you subscribe. So, YouTubers, make sure you subscribe to the audio podcast. I appreciate that. And audio friends, make sure when you get to your office, you hop on over and you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's it, guys and gals. Remember, leave comments below. Tell me what you think about the direction we're playing with the channel. The last couple videos are a little bit different. What do you think about those? Just take a quick little look there. And then what do you think about this topic? Carnivores versus vegans. Are they really battling for 10th place? The answer is yes. Until next time, guys and gals. Boom.